Okay, if you're new here, which most of you probably are, a while ago I decided to learn how to make a game, and it has led me to where I am today. I'm not a professional or anything, but I've learned a lot from this experience. Before I was on Thanksgiving break, so I had more time to work on the game to implement more features. But now that school has started again, it's becoming hard to juggle working on the game and keeping good grades. But this doesn't mean I'm not working on the game at all. After finishing up all my homework and practice for my sport, I'm usually free by 7. This leaves 2 hours of free time before I head to bed. During this time, I usually read my comment section or messages in my Discord server to see what y'all are saying about the game. Some of the times, y'all are reporting glitches in the game, and other times y'all are giving suggestions on what to add to the game. I do listen to y'all, by the way. I would say 50% of the features in my game are from y'all's suggestions. But yeah, I would mostly repeat this process daily until this one random person messaged in my Discord server, which you can join too, by the way. The link will be in the description. So basically the conversation just started off normal, right? He said skippable tutorials or make it way faster. And I've had other people who said the exact same thing. I see where they're coming from though. Like, look at all this dialogue. I was actually thinking of adding it a while back. So I finally stopped procrastinating and added this feature. It wasn't too bad, it took less than 15 minutes to add it. So obviously that wasn't the message that strongly impacted my game, but his next words shocked me. It showed me that this wasn't just your regular everyday person. He said also this rounded box with a border can be done with a combination of UI corners and UI strokes. I assume what you have at the moment is 2 frames, one is black and the other one is blue and has a higher Z index. What he is saying is, basically, I made something in my game, which is this coin menu over here, and he is describing an easier process which I could have made it. I don't think I can describe how crazy this all was for me. In my eyes, he was like some type of game making master who knew all the secrets. We talked a little bit more, and I learned he specialized in making UIs, which stands for user interface, and basically menus you see while playing the game. This was especially good for me since I've received a lot of feedback in the past that mine weren't the best. Yeah, after that, he talked about my GUIs and he gave suggestions on which one to change, saying stuff like how too much color gradient could be bad. One of the things he told me to work on is actually what you see being worked on the screen right now. So this is the fish journal, and it allows players to see what type of fish they caught, and originally it looked like this. And then this is the finished project. I know the title says saved my game, and y'all may think I'm lying or exaggerating about it, but GUIs make a lot of impact on the game. It can separate a game from looking like it was made by a total beginner, which I am, and to making it seem like it is one of those top games on Roblox. So now that we've established how important GUIs are, let me tell you all the things that I changed because of him. The thing that I spent most of my time was the fishing mechanic screen, which he thought I should change because it'll be hard to look at the stats and at the fishing minigame, and that it should be 2 separate buttons. The thing I was talking about is what you see on the screen right now. I'm not going to go into too much detail explaining it because then I'll get too off topic and this video would never end. So this dude sent me a model and a picture of examples of what it could be changed to. This was a big help. It basically just let me copy and paste it into my game. Okay, this doesn't mean I didn't do any work. I still had to do work around with the code and make sure all the mechanics work the same. Then in the middle of implementing it, I decided to do something else than his idea. It'll be much harder to add, but I think it will also look a lot better. So the idea I had was to use a surface GUI instead of a screen GUI, because I thought it would look much better. To give a simple definition, a screen GUI just appears on the screen, and a surface GUI is inside the game and can change its appearance based on your position. This was my original thinking, and I thought it was going to be smooth sailing after this. But with using a surface GUI, I would have to do some math and figure out the X, Y, and Z coordinates to position the part right behind the player. It gets even worse though. I would also have to do some trigonometry to calculate the angle so the screen will be facing toward the player's screen. But you know me though, like I'll push through anything no matter what, and I got straight into coding and doing some math on my paper to try and figure it out. Nah, I'm just kidding. Who do you think I am? Some genius? I went straight to the Roblox dev forums to look for an answer. When I searched it up, there was already an article for my exact question. I read through it and the people on there were saying just to use a billboard GUI instead, because then I would have to calculate the angle. I wouldn't have to calculate the angle and it would make my life a lot easier. I experimented around with the billboard GUI just to see how it works. There were some problems I had, but they weren't that hard to solve. One trip back to the Roblox dev forums and I already found my answer. I'm writing the script for the video right now, and I just realized that it seems like I did all of this effortlessly. Okay, I'm gonna describe all the extra problems I left out. So there were moments when I was trying to make the service GUI work, and I would just sit there on my screen experimenting with it, and would eventually burn out and then lay on my bed, just to get right back up a few minutes later and repeat the process. Also, during this time was the weekday, so it was like getting hit with two rocks at once. I would go home and struggle to implement this feature in my game, just to go to school and to struggle to try and learn the stuff there. I always put school over the game though. I don't want y'all to think I'm slacking with my grades. Okay, back to the game now. I finished the design I wanted for the billboard GUI, and all I had to do was add the code for it, which was fairly easy. All it took was a couple attempts before I got it right. But when I did get it right, I felt like it was my greatest accomplishment. I was just sitting there like, dang, I really made that? Because I'm used to adding low quality stuff to my game since I wasn't that good. But this right here, this is like A grade quality stuff. The work wasn't finished though. I had to address another issue I had. Remember in the beginning of the video where I said I had to split the menus into two? Well yeah, now I have to make a place where the player can see their fishing stats. I opened up Blender and got straight to work. The design I was going for was some pedestal and a book to be on top of the pedestal, so the player would go up to and view the book to see their stats. On the left of the screen, I'm looking at pictures of lecterns to base my reference off of. This is what the finished product looks like in my game. I put some of the fish in my game in this little opening right here. Why you ask? I don't know really. They seem nice and comfy down there. So what the player does is walk up to the stand and open their stats right here. Basically, after this, I accomplished everything I wanted to for the moment. You see, I could have been done and just rested, but no. I went on the biggest side quest ever. So originally I wanted to use a proximity prompt for the stat checker, right? Which is just something used to get an input from the player. But I didn't like the way that it looked. It didn't like match the aesthetic. So then I searched ways to customize and make it look different, which led me to this proximity prompt customizer. In the end, I didn't even use it for my original purpose. I decided to go with another way of input other than proximity prompt for the stat checker. But using this, I was able to make other aspects of my game cooler, so I guess it wasn't a complete loss. That was basically everything I did this week for my game. I wanted to thank everyone in my last video, which was the first time I used my real voice. In that video, I acknowledged my speech wasn't the greatest and y'all were supportive in giving me tips. Thank you for that. One comment that stood out on that video was this guy saying to write a script for the video to help with the speech, and to stop using words like and to make it seem better. For this video, I wrote a whole script which took at least 3 hours. This actually caused so much more time to make the video. If you want to help me out, you can subscribe and like. It would help boost the algorithm so more people can find out about this channel and game. The game I was talking about in this whole video can be played with the link in the description. So originally, I wanted to use a proximity prompt for the stat checker. Okay. This is what the finished product looks like in the game. I put some of the fish in my game in this little opening right here. Why you ask? I don't know. Really? Wait, what am I saying? This is what the finished project. Oh my god. I'm writing the script for the video right now, and I've just realized what am I saying? When I searched it up, there was already an article for